This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky mornings start right here on WKYT, and we are so glad you're with us. I'm Andrea Walker.
I'm Bill Bryant. Here we are. It is Monday morning, November 7th, and it is Election Eve in America. We have a lot happening early.
Now at 6, a fun trip turned tragic. Just ahead, the new details on a Louisville Boy Scout whose death happened at the Red River Gorge this weekend.
Also, she was a pioneer for women in politics and served at the epicenter of several political storms. We'll look back on the life of Janet Reno, who we've learned passed away this morning.
And a Transylvania student may be gone, but her memory will live on forever. How students are honoring the life of Katie Stewart just ahead.
Heading into a chilly Monday, but it may be warm by standards of later in the week, right?
Yeah, it's just another day where you start off very chilly,
Yeah.
you finish off really nice. So it kind of is like, just throw on a coat this morning, but have that short sleeve shirt underneath, because that's what you're going to need. You need 30s, or you're looking at 30s and 40s early this morning. A couple of 50s sprinkled in here and there, so it kind of depends on where you live. But nonetheless, I mean, it's still overall very cool. 69 by the afternoon, a pretty nice day in store. The pattern is going to change big time as we head throughout the next few days. Your 7-day forecast has two fronts in there, and the two fronts will bring in much cooler conditions, maybe even the coldest air so far this fall season. We're going to talk about that, also looking at potentially the first freeze of the fall season. That's coming up.
Okay, there's that word, freeze, right? Let's get right to the news on your Monday.
Well, we begin this morning with new details about a terrible story out of eastern Kentucky. An 11-year-old Boy Scout died while camping with his troop.
A very difficult story to relate to you. This happened near Chimney Top Rock, a popular spot to camp in the Red River Gorge in Wolfe County. This morning we're learning some new information about 11-year-old Jack Rose. WKYT's Lauren Miner takes the story from our live desk this morning with more details. Lauren?
Good morning, Bill. Well, we have learned from WDRB this morning that 11-year-old Jack was part of Troop 30 in Louisville. He was one of 20 scouts on that trip to Red River Gorge. Jack was camping near Chimney Top Creek with his troop when a dead tree fell and landed on his tent with him inside. A pair of doctors who were camping nearby, along with search and rescue, attempted CPR, but the tree hit Rose in the head, killing him instantly.
I mean, we hear them fall all the time when we're, out doing rescues. It's not that uncommon for trees to be falling, so you just do need to be mindful, when you're around one of those trees. You never know what condition a tree could be in.
Leaders with Boy Scouts of America released a statement after Jack's death. They said, quote, "We will do all we can to support the family of this young man. We will be offering grief counseling to our members and volunteers," end quote. John May, who you just heard from a few moments ago, says he's seen a lot of tragedy during his 13 years as a search and rescue volunteer, but says this has been the toughest. Reporting at the live desk, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Lauren, thank you. New this morning, Janet Reno, the first woman to serve as U.S. Attorney General and the epicenter of several political storms during Bill Clinton's administration, has died. Reno's goddaughter says she died early this morning from complications of Parkinson's disease. She was in office for 8 years, starting in 1993, and was one of Clinton's administration's most polarizing figures. Reno faced criticism early in her tenure for the deadly raid at the Branch Davidian compound at Waco, Texas. She unsuccessfully ran for governor of Florida in 2002. Janet Reno was 78. Staying with politics now, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump are making their final case to voters in key states. Here we are now, just one day before the election.
As the candidates crisscrossed the country yesterday, FBI Director James Comey sent another letter to Congress. He said his agency did not find any new information that warrants charges against Clinton for her use of a private email server. Clinton did not mention the development at any of her events yesterday. Trump, however, criticized the decision, saying his rival was being protected by a rigged system. We'll take a closer look at the race for the White House coming up at 6:30. And of course, the presidential race isn't the only one on the ballot. There's also a major statewide race for the U.S. Senate.
It's been an aggressive battle.
It has been.
Lexington's mayor and Democratic nominee is hoping to upset incumbent Republican Senator Rand Paul. Both Jim Gray and Paul will be putting in some long hours today. WKYT's Mike Byer has more on their final campaign stops as he is joining us now live. Good morning, Mike.
Morning, Bill. The polls open in about 24 hours, which is hard to believe. And the two men in Kentucky's U.S. Senate race are making a combined 17 stops around the state today. Now, Senator Rand Paul is kicking things off this morning here at the Aviation Museum in Lexington. Paul will also be making stops in Louisville and Elizabethtown along the way before ending the day in his hometown of Bowling Green. His challenger, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, is getting some high-profile help in his quest to unseat the senator. We've learned former Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear will be with Gray during his 9 stops today from Pikeville to Paducah. Kentucky's U.S. Senate candidates have struggled to excite voters as the two compete with the presidential race. Now, we will be live tomorrow when the polls open at 6 a.m. and we'll have special election coverage throughout the day, and we'll be here as the numbers come in. Now, if you're planning to vote tomorrow but don't know where to cast your vote, you can find plenty of information on where to do that on WKYT.com. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
A Sunday of football took on a different meaning for people in Richmond over the weekend.
Yesterday marked the 1-year anniversary since Richmond police officer Daniel Ellis died after being shot in the line of duty. And to mark that somber anniversary, Richmond police officers and firefighters honored Ellis at their annual Turkey Bowl football game. Ellis's family was there, and his young son Luke delivered the game ball. Ellis's wife Katie says, while it has been a very tough year, she has never felt alone, thanks to the community's support.
I knew that today was going to be really tough, but just like today last year, I wasn't ever alone.
It was a hard time for us last year too at this time, and you hate to see anything like that happen, and we're proud to come out and honor it.
Ellis's son also scored a touchdown in the game, and he helped the Richmond Police Department win the game 24-19.
And some Richmond businesses also honored Officer Ellis throughout the weekend. Domino's Pizza in Richmond served up free pizza for the entire police department on a difficult day. The store manager said she wanted to deliver happiness any way she could.
It's just all about togetherness. We come behind each other. We stand behind each other. You don't feel in Richmond that you're all alone in the community. You feel like you've got somebody that's got your back, especially the police department.
Now, Domino's split up the deliveries so that every shift at the police department got pizza throughout the day.
We're making some phone calls this morning and trying to learn more about the death investigation going on in Garrett County right now. The coroner has identified the victim as 31-year-old Bethany Floyd, but hasn't told us much more. She was found dead inside a home on Price Court in Lancaster Saturday night. We're told that Lancaster police consider the death to be suspicious, but they've released no more details about this. Again, we're staying on top of that story this morning.
Forest fires continue to burn in parts of eastern Kentucky this morning.
As you can see in this video, crews dealt with heavy smoke as they fought the flames over the weekend. The Kentucky Division of Forestry says it is handling 24 fires in the region this morning. The largest fires are burning along Pine Mountain in Harlan County, and the Eagle's Nest fire that's going on in Breathitt County. Forestry officials say they hope to have those fires under control in the next few days.
We've got our containment lines in. The fire is roughly 3,000 acres in size. We've been on it 3 days. We had multiple crews on it. Got our power commission in on it. They got pumpers and the engines. And we're looking to maybe try to get a grasp on it tomorrow.
Nearly 400 workers from across the state are helping with fire relief efforts in eastern Kentucky. You'll recall the governor declared a state of emergency, and that is ongoing. Well, a Transylvania student's memory will now live on forever on campus.
22-year-old Mary Catherine Stewart died back in March during a hiking accident at Raven Run Nature Sanctuary. So to honor her life, Katie's classmates raised over $20,000 to build this pavilion. They dedicated it to her yesterday. It was all part of their senior challenge. One of Katie's friends tells us not a day goes by that she doesn't think of her.
Katie really made a mark on our Transylvania community. We just loved her dearly, and we were devastated when we heard the news of the accident because she did have such a profound impact on us.
Katie's former employers, Crank and Boom Ice Cream and A Cup of Commonwealth, also helped in the dedication ceremony by providing free drinks and food. It's a very nice gesture there.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Our time this morning is 6:09. You know, we've had chilly mornings here, but at least it's been recovering in the afternoon and been pretty pleasant. By the end of this week, that may not be happening.
It's going to feel a little like winter, y'all. It's getting here.
That's right. Let's check in with Mike over there at our First Alert Weather Center. Good morning.
Hey, good morning. Yeah, we got 2 fronts to really watch out for. One midweek, one late week, like they were talking about. You're talking about possibly the coldest air we have felt so far this fall season. live sky camera. It's a good looking start to the day as you're walking outside, but it's one of those days that you need to throw on a coat over the short sleeve shirt, because later on this afternoon you can get rid of that coat and you don't want to have long sleeves on when it's 70 degrees outside. So it's going to feel really nice later on today, just not so much this morning. Kids going off to the bus stop will need that coat. 36 right now in Boyle County. Go off into Casey, Lincoln, and Pulaski County. Pulaski County coming in, it's at 37 degrees there in Somerset near Lake Cumberland. We head up north, it's pretty much the same story, 30s and 40s as you're walking out and about. Hour by hour forecast, though we get into the afternoon, about a 30-degree swing, roughly 70 degrees later on today with mostly sunny skies. And then we head off towards your evening hours, and there we go, looking at temperatures in the low 60s. So the evening doesn't feel all that bad for heading out to the ball fields. I don't see any problems whatsoever. And then we head toward Election Day tomorrow. During the poll hours, 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., I don't see a rain chance. It's really Tuesday night into Wednesday that rain starts to funnel on in. That'll give us not only just a rain chance, but also some much cooler air on your Wednesday into Thursday. Wednesday will be upper 40s, lower 50s for highs. And then on Thursday, you're looking at temperatures there in the 50s, so a big drop in temperatures toward midweek. We rebound pretty nicely Thursday into Friday, but then another front barrels on through here for your weekend. Now, that second front is pretty cold, too. I mean, you're talking highs only in the 40s and 50s. It's going to be pretty chilly there. Two fronts, remember, Wednesday and Saturday look to be your coldest days, and maybe even Sunday morning being our first fall freeze of the season. So we'll see if that turns out. Still a ways away, but nonetheless, you can go ahead and prepare for that. Typically, the first fall freeze is late October, so we are due. Let's just put it that way. Here's your 7-day forecast. Next couple of days will be the nicest feeling days in the forecast. Better take advantage of it. And out at the polls, I don't see any problems heading out and about weather-wise to head out and vote. Like I said, Wednesday it's going to be very chilly, guys, and so will Saturday. You're sitting there in the upper 40s, lower 50s for highs, not for lows. We've had several mornings that have been way warmer than what we're going to be experiencing for highs on Wednesday and Saturday.
Oh, goodness. Have you all adjusted to daylight savings?
Not yet. Not yet.
No.
One day won't do it for me. I need about a year. And then here we go again.
Well, it's helpful on this end of the day.
It is.
Well, that is.
Yeah,
That's
but
true.
yeah, at night, I mean, it's already dark about 5:45.
I know. I love it.
Okay.
Thank you,
6:12 our time this morning on WKYT.
And each morning we bring you weather and traffic together.
Now let's go check in with Officer Don, see what's happening early out there on the roads. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Well, no wrecks right now. There's a big sign up at Manowar and Pimlico that tells us that Pimlico will be shut down after 6 o'clock tonight. Just to let you know, we're okay today to use Pimlico, but they're going to shut it down for some construction work a little bit later. So plan that as you need to. There's a live look outside right now at Lexington rush hour traffic on the inner and outer loops of the circle. Inbound Nicholasville Road looks great and no trouble on the north side. Of course, that right there courtesy of the Lexington Fayette Urban County government. Newtown and Nandino looks okay both in and outbound. Now back to you in the studio.
Okay, and a reminder to watch for the deer out there.
You got to see them up close and personal this weekend.
It was right on the EKU campus. I mean, there's a buck running right across campus. So, yes, they are out there. Keep that in mind.
Full force.
6:13 on WKYT this morning, early on your Monday. So good to have you along, and a lot more news is on the way.
Still ahead, police think a South Carolina man may be linked to 7 murders. Details on the newest evidence recovered in about 3 minutes.
And McDonald's is trying to catch up to its competitors. Here, you'll soon be able to get your food even faster when WKYT This Morning returns. Good morning. Welcome back in. WKYT This Morning, live on the air for you here at 6:17 on your Monday. Right
Election
early.
Eve, everybody.
It is that. And as the presidential candidates crisscross the country today, authorities in 3 states are on high alert.
The FBI is warning about a possible al-Qaeda terror attack. A U.S. law enforcement official tells CBS News that investigators are looking for individuals who could have information about a pre-election threat. Intelligence points to possible attacks aimed at New York, Virginia, and Texas. Keep an eye on that. We are getting our first look at some of the damage caused by a magnitude 5.0 earthquake in Oklahoma. It's the latest tremor to rattle the town of Cushing. The assistant city manager says a few minor injuries were reported and damage appears to be contained to downtown. Piles of debris sit at the base of some buildings. The search continues in South Carolina for what could be more victims of alleged serial killer Todd Cole-Hepp. Yesterday, authorities found another body buried on his 95-acre property. That's where a woman was found chained in a metal container last week. The 45-year-old faces 4 counts of murder in the deaths of 4 people back in 2003.
Our time this morning is 6:18 here on WKYT This Morning, and here's some good news. Gasoline prices could be going a lot lower. Crude oil prices tumbled to 6-week lows last week because of unexpected record-high inventories here in the U.S. AAA says we could see prices at the pump fall below $2 a gallon. It's already under the $2 mark in many places here in central Kentucky, so again could go even lower. Samsung is recalling nearly 3 million top-load washing machines in the U.S. The move follows reports of injuries caused by the tops of the machines detaching during use. Owners should check with Samsung to see if their washer is involved. The South Korean company is offering repairs, rebates, and refunds. It's the latest blow to Samsung after recalling its Galaxy Note 7 smartphones following reports of overheating and even fires. Need a ride to the polls? Zipcar is offering its members free access to more than 7,000 cars on Election Day. You can sign up on Zipcar's website or app. The car-sharing company says it wants to encourage people to cast their votes in the areas where they operate. Volkswagen's emissions cheating crisis might not be over. California regulators have reportedly discovered a new and different kind of emissions rigging software on Audi cars with diesel and gasoline engines, which let them cheat the pollution tests. Volkswagen and U.S. regulators are not commenting so far. And soon you'll be able to cut the line at McDonald's. Business Insider reports that McDonald's is reportedly getting ready to launch a feature on its app that would let users order and pay for food ahead of time. McDonald's has lagged behind many other fast food chains when it comes to digital ordering. And so lots of folks are doing that now. Starbucks and others, you walk in and you can grab your order.
There you go. Fast food is just getting easier and easier, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right.
Well, WKYT This Morning, we are just getting started, and we're so happy to have you with us. Still to come, quite the embarrassing moment for kicker of the Pittsburgh Steelers. See why his failed kick had everyone, including the commenters, at a loss for words. Just ahead.
And we do have some very, very chilly air this morning, but it gets much colder as we head throughout your work week. I'm going to show you when these fronts move on through and what they will bring along with them. That's coming up next.
Welcome back into WKYT This Morning. The time now is 6:23 on your Monday. Well, it's being called a tragic accident. An 11-year-old Louisville boy was killed while camping in the Red River Gorge over the weekend.
Awful situation. That's what's trending this hour here at WKYT News. Jack Rose died after a tree fell on his tent. Rescue crews say Jack was camping with his Boy Scout troop near Chimney Top Rock. That's a popular spot to camp in the Red River Gorge in Wolfe County.
And today, Election Eve, the two men in Kentucky's U.S. Senate race are making a combined 17 stops around the state. Senator Rand Paul is kicking things off this morning at the Aviation Museum in Lexington. His challenger, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, will campaign with former Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear during his 9 stops today from Pikeville to Paducah.
They are going to be busy. And November weather arrives here in the Commonwealth. Here's a quick check at the forecast with Micah.
Yeah, and it feels a little bit chilly outside early this morning, so grab that warm cup of coffee, grab that coat before you take off early this morning. We'll see temperatures anywhere from 36 to 47 degrees. Just kind of depends on where you live out and about as you're heading out this morning. That means kids going off to the bus stop, they will need a coat by 8 a.m. We'll be seeing very chilly conditions. By the afternoon, we're holding on to 69 degrees. So chilly start, warmer afternoon. It's just one of those days. We've been going through this for quite some time. Now, as we go off into the next few days, things are going to change big time. No more 80s in the forecast. And you know what? We may not see 80s until next year. Those might be all over with. 70s, we'll have bits and pieces, but there's a big pattern change as we head towards your midweek and late weekend, guys. We're going to go over that coming up in your forecast in just about 5 minutes.
Okay, thank you. 6:25 on WKYT this morning. Some terrifying moments for an Alaskan woman.
She says she's going to have nightmares for a long time after failing to rescue an ice skater who fell through the ice.
This video was captured after the emergency services arrived. The woman says she'd heard someone calling for help and saw a man in the water. She grabbed her paddleboard and tried to get to him, but couldn't get close enough. Rescue crews showed up minutes later and pulled the man to shore. Police say the man is expected to be okay, so it all ends well, but you know, she felt like It was a
Awful,
difficult day
I'm
for
sure.
her. Yeah.
Well, all's well that ends well. And, of course, the world of sports can be quite unpredictable.
And despite whether it's Pee Wee or professional league, there can be embarrassing moments, no doubt about that.
So true. Just ask Pittsburgh Steeler kicker Chris Boswell, who had quite the flub on his onside kick attempt. Boswell was going for an onside kick to try and get the ball back, but he got a little too fancy and ended up kicking a bunch of air. Poor guy. We think it's safe to say he would like to have that kick back. What do you think about that?
Probably so.
It happens to the best of us,
I was
isn't
going
that
to say,
true?
oh, well, exactly. I was just thinking that's probably exactly what would happen to me out there.
I know. Oh, I wouldn't even attempt. No, no, no.
Okay, well, he's had better days.
Yeah.
Rolling towards 6:30 now on WKYT This Morning.
And when we come back, a traffic stop turns deadly in western Kentucky. Details on the officer-involved shooting coming up at 6:30.
All of our top stories on the way. Tomorrow night's Mega Millions jackpot is $54 million, and Wednesday night's Powerball jackpot has now climbed to $236 million. So good to have you with us here on WKYT.
This is WKYT This Morning.
Kentucky Mornings start here on WKYT. Good morning. I'm Bill Bryant.
And I'm Andrea Walker. It is Monday, November 7th. It's Election Eve, and we are busy here in the newsroom.
That's right. Lots going on. Now at 6:30, a fun trip turns tragic in the Red River Gorge. We'll have a closer look at some new details coming in about a Kentucky Boy Scout's death.
And we are one day away. We're tracking a look at the final day of campaigning ahead of tomorrow's elections.
And Coach Cal's guys showed it all in the final exhibition game. Just ahead, we'll have a recap of their historic night and an opportunity for another local school as well.
I know. It was a rough one to watch for Asbury fans, wasn't it?
Well, sure, but I mean, again.
But they were so excited to be in Rupp, it didn't matter.
Puts them on the map.
That's right.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Publicity never hurts. And what we're looking at outside early this morning, very chilly conditions. But later on this afternoon, here we go again. It's chilly this morning. Really nice later on this afternoon. We're actually starting to see a little bit of sunrise, peaks of that in Moorhead. You got to remember, don't forget we had time change over the weekend, so you get a sunrise early on. It's about 7:10, 7:15 is actual sunrise, and then we hit the afternoon once you see sunset at 5:30. I mean, that's not fun for some, especially if you have kids, you want them to play outside as long as possible, kind of wear them down a little bit. But this morning is very chilly. Grab that coat before you take off. Throw it on those kiddos before they take off, too, because it's going to be pretty chilly by the afternoon. Like I said, near 70 degrees. Looks really good. We're going to go over Election Day forecast. In that day, Election Day, there is a chance of rain. But is it during the time we head out to the polls? I'm going to talk all about that coming up.
Okay, I think you have some good news on that one for us. Thank you, and we'll have that in a bit. Let's get to the news.
We are following new details about a terrible story out of eastern Kentucky. An 11-year-old Kentucky Boy Scout died while camping with his troop.
It happened near Chimney Top Rock. That's a very popular spot to camp in the Red River Gorge in Wolfe County. This morning we're learning some new information about 11-year-old Jack Rose. WKYT's Lauren Miner takes the story now from our live desk. Lauren, good morning.
Good morning, Bill. We have learned from WDRB this morning that 11-year-old Jack was part of Troop 30 in Louisville. Leaders with Boy Scouts of America have also released a statement saying, quote, "We will do all we can to support the family of this young man. We will be offering grief counseling to our members and volunteers," end quote. Jack was one of 20 scouts on that trip to Red River Gorge. He was camping near Chimney Top Creek with his troop when a dead tree fell and landed on his tent with him inside. A pair of doctors who were camping nearby, along with search and rescue, attempted CPR, but the tree hit Rose in the head, killing him instantly. Wolfe County search and rescue volunteer John May says he's seen a lot of tragedy during his 13 years, but this has been the toughest.
This is the first juvenile that we've had to really deal with like this, and you know, it just, especially if you have children of your own, I mean, it's just heart-wrenching to really, you know, see the pain and suffering that the family member and the friends are going through.
A very tough time. Well, May says it's not that uncommon for trees to fall in the area, and it's important to be mindful of your surroundings because you never know what condition one of those trees might be in. Reporting at the live desk, Lauren Miner, WKYT.
Very difficult for those first responders as well who had to deal with that.
It really is.
Yeah. Our time this morning is 6:34 on WKYT.
And turning now to politics, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump make their final case to voters in several key states one day before Election Day.
And as the candidates campaigned across the country yesterday, FBI Director James Comey sent another letter to Congress about Clinton's private email server. Craig Boswell has the latest on the campaign a day before the election.
Donald Trump capped a 5-state campaign push in Virginia overnight, railing against the FBI's decision to exonerate Hillary Clinton over her email controversy.
This is a rigged system. Hillary Clinton is guilty. She knows it. The FBI knows it.
After reviewing thousands of newly discovered Clinton emails, FBI Director James Comey penned another letter to Congress Sunday, revealing investigators are standing by their July decision not to bring charges against the Democratic nominee.
We're glad that this matter is resolved.
Clinton did not mention the FBI development as she rallied support in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and New Hampshire with the help of LeBron James and James Taylor.
I really believe that America's best years are still ahead of us.
Clinton's email saga has haunted her throughout the entire campaign. Despite the FBI's final decision, the issue continues to be a source of debate on Capitol Hill. In a statement Sunday night, House Speaker Paul Ryan used the topic to encourage Americans to vote for Trump, saying Clinton simply believes she's above the law and always plays by her own rules. Senate Minority Leader Harry Reid once again accused Director Comey of breaking the law for penning his original letter to Congress, writing, Director Comey created a political firestorm 11 days before a presidential election merely to confirm what we already knew, that Secretary Clinton's email practices were legal. Voters would get their final say tomorrow when they head to the polls on Election Day. Craig Boswell, CBS News, Washington.
Now, Donald Trump will be campaigning in 5 states today, including the crucial states of Florida and Pennsylvania. Hillary Clinton will also be in Pennsylvania. She'll be joined there by President Obama, the First Lady, and Bruce Springsteen. Well, of course, the presidential race is not the only thing on the ballot. In fact, it's going to be a long ballot in Kentucky. There is also a major statewide race for the U.S. Senate.
Lexington's mayor and Democratic nominee Jim Gray hopes to upset incumbent Republican Senator Rand Paul. Both men will be putting in long hours this afternoon. WKYT's Mike Byer has more on their final campaign stops. Good morning, Mike.
Good morning, Andrea. The two men in the Kentucky's U.S. Senate race are making a combined 17 stops around the state today as the polls open in about 24 hours. Now, Senator Rand Paul is kicking things off this morning at the Aviation Museum here in Lexington. Paul will also be making stops in Louisville and Elizabethtown along the way before ending the day in his hometown of Bowling Green. His challenger, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, is getting some high-profile help in his quest to unseat the senator. We've learned former Kentucky Governor Steve Beshear will be with Gray during his 9 stops today from Pikeville to Paducah. Kentucky's U.S. Senate candidates have struggled to excite voters as the two compete with the presidential race. We will be live when the polls open at 6 a.m. and we'll have special election coverage throughout the day, and we will be here as the numbers come in. If you're planning to vote tomorrow but don't know where to cast your vote, you can find helpful information on WKYT.com. Live in Lexington, Mike Byer, WKYT.
Andy Barr will be campaigning with Senator Rand Paul in Lexington this morning. The U.S. representative for Kentucky's 6th District is looking to hold off his Democratic challenger, Nancy Jo Kemper. She also indicates she will be very busy today making several stops around the Bluegrass as she attempts to take that seat away from Barr. WKYT, the most comprehensive election coverage, will be having live coverage tomorrow morning before the polls even open at 6 a.m. We'll be watching the trends throughout the day on our newscasts, and of course we'll be here when the polls close at 6 p.m. keeping tabs on all of the races as those numbers come in, and we'll have interactive results, of course, always at WKYT.com.
This morning, we've learned that 3 soldiers killed last week in Jordan were stationed at Fort Campbell. 27-year-old Staff Sergeant Matthew Llewellyn of Kansas, 30-year-old Staff Sergeant Kevin McEnroe of Arizona, and 27-year-old Staff Sergeant James F. Moriarty of Texas all died. The military says their convoy came under fire outside a military base in Jordan.
A traffic stop has turned deadly in western Kentucky. State police are still looking into exactly what happened. All was calm when our news team visited this Bowling Green intersection, but troopers paint a different picture for us that happened there just hours before. Moments into a traffic stop, investigators say Deputy Chris Rainier shot Randy Clark with his stun gun, but Clark drove away and dragged the deputy with him. Troopers say that's when Deputy Rainier shot and killed Clark. Rainier suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Troopers say Clark had several outstanding warrants.
A young college student is dead after a weekend ATV crash in eastern Kentucky. Investigators say 21-year-old Tyler Fugit crashed his ATV yesterday near the Perry-Knott County line. We found his obituary this morning, which says Fugit was a student at Bluegrass Community and Technical College. He worked in Georgetown. Fugit's visitation is tonight. His funeral is tomorrow. Both will be in Hazard. Madison County is getting a few $1,000s to help fix roads in the county. The state's transportation cabinet says the county will get more than $3,000 in county road aid emergency funds. About $1,700 will be used for Knatzer Lane to repair flood damage, and another $1,500 will go towards fixing flood damage on Eddington Lane.
6:40 now on WKYT this morning. It was a true David versus Goliath matchup in Rupp Arena. Kentucky hosted Asbury University last night for its final exhibition game of the season.
But unlike the biblical story, David really didn't have much of a chance in this one. WKYT's Lee K. Howard has a recap of last night's historical performance.
Well, this one was over just a few minutes after it began. Kentucky hosted Asbury for their final exhibition game on Sunday, and despite Asbury giving a good effort, the Eagles were just outmatched in Rupp Arena. Kentucky had 60 fast break points on Sunday night. Here's Derek Willis throwing it down. It was 88-25 at halftime. The second half became a dunk contest. Malik Monk, look out below, driving through the defense and finishing high above the rim, 105-28. And this might have been his best one of the night. Here's another one from Monk. The reverse two-hander. The lead would grow to as many as 102. And how about this one? Maybe the best dunk of the night in the final minute of the game. The senior Michael Mulder. You know, the Asbury defender probably wishes that he did not jump on that one there. Mulder had 20 points off the bench, and Kentucky wins 156-63. The 156 points, a new single-game UK record for an exhibition game. That regular season begins on Friday. Big win for the Wildcats. Back to you.
Okay, it's going to be an interesting season ahead, you know.
That looked good,
You
didn't
just
it?
get the feeling. All right, 6:41 right now.
Let's get a check to see how traffic is moving this morning.
Let's go check in with Officer Don in live drive traffic. Good morning, Don.
Good morning. Well, we cleared the collision on the inner loop of the circle near Meadow Lane, so both lanes are open in that area. Nicholasville Road still looks okay. No problems coming in on Richmond Road, 8th and Boonesboro, and I-75 in good shape. There's our drive times. To Nicholasville, 14 minutes. To Georgetown, about 13. Average from Winchester, about 24 minutes from Winchester to Lexington. So far, so good. No major delays to report on the interstate, and there's a live look outside Winchester and Sir Barton. Now back to you in the studio.
All right, beautiful morning out there. Obviously, daylight earlier now that we've had that time change. Thank you. Get the latest traffic and weather info anytime with the WKYT Weather Plus traffic app. You can download that. It's free in the app or the Google Play stores. More news coming up on WKYT here on your Monday morning.
Still ahead, some might call it beginner's luck, but one Oklahoma City Thunder fan walked away a winner after draining a half-court shot. We'll take a closer look at that shot and what he won for it right after Micah's forecast.
30s and 40s early this morning, and as we go throughout the next couple of days, we'll start to see some rain move on in, but is that during the time we're heading out to vote? We'll break down that forecast coming up next.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with meteorologist Micah Harris.
We got a 30s and 40s outside early this morning, and as we head toward the afternoon, you know what's going to happen. It gets really, really warm. We'll be roughly 70 degrees later on today, so throw on that short sleeve shirt before you take off, but also put a coat over it because you'll need it this morning. 37 degrees right now in Boyle County. Look at Monticello coming in at 31 degrees. 41 in Mount Sterling in that region of Montgomery County. Go down south into Breathitt and Perry County, Laurel County, Whitley County, Pulaski coming in at 39 degrees. Just all depends on where you are, but nonetheless, everybody's pretty chilly. Once we hit the afternoon, everybody right there in the 60s. There's no doubt about that. However, there will be some spots right there in the lower 70s, so a pretty nice day in store. We head towards your election day. There is a chance of rain on election day. However, I don't see it during the poll hours. You head towards 6 a.m., that's when the polls open. 47 degrees, go through the day, we'll be there in the 60s. 6 p.m. when the polls close, right there around 66. Remember that sunrise is roughly 7:10. Sunset, now you're talking about 5:30-ish. So it's going to be one of those times you're heading out to the polls and it may be dark when you get there. All right, now that we're going into the night, like I said, we'll have a rain chance on election day, but not during the time that we actually get it in the polls. I would say right before midnight, that's when you start to see some rain move into the far northwest. So anywhere from, say, 9 p.m. to about midnight is when I expect some rain to move into the west and northwest. 71 corridor, Owen County, Henry County, those areas. And then it moves southbound as we go throughout the night. Most of this rain for Tuesday night into Wednesday will fall when most of us are asleep. It won't really affect us that much. But at least it's some rain. We still need some rain, especially for those brush fires down south. Don't forget about this. Follow me on Twitter, Micah Harris WX. I always get some really, really neat shots. This is the Twitter picture of the day. I always show it off every morning, so if you want your picture shown on TV, just send it to me, man. Linda Taupin sent this one in. First sunrise after the time change. That was this weekend near the Ohio River. Awesome, awesome shot right there. 7-day forecast. Next couple of days will feel pretty nice. Tuesday into Wednesday, Tuesday night really into Wednesday is when you start to get some rain moving on in. We'll be around okay there for Thursday and Friday. Friday being Veterans Day, and then off towards your weekend, another front rolls through. There's two fronts. One Tuesday night into Wednesday, that's going to bring some very cold air, upper 40s, lower 50s on Wednesday, and then one for the weekend where we could possibly see our first fall freeze. Possible.
Don't say it.
We will see, right?
If everybody's ready for that. I don't know if you're ready for the sun this morning. It's already up out there.
I know, it's beautiful already.
Yeah, so that's what happens with the time change. We get it on this end, and of course it'll be dark this evening as a lot of folks are heading home. Thank you, Micah. This story is wild. A fan's first time at an Oklahoma City Thunder game, and it had a stellar ending for him.
Yeah, he's not going to forget this. The fan, Tony, was chosen to shoot a half-court shot at the Timberwolves and Thunder game in Oklahoma City. Check this out. Tony lines up, he heaves the basketball, and
watch there, swish.
Swish. Gorgeous. He
Nothing
nails
but
it.
the net.
That earned him $20,000 too. Tony says he stayed calm ahead of the shot. He says he's going to use the money to help pay off his student loans for college.
Well, how about that?
Very responsible of Tony there.
Yeah, lots of good attention.
Good for
he got
him.
Out of that. That's
Pretty
great.
cool.
All right, what are the chances? All right, good to have you with us. 6:49 on WKYT this morning, rolling toward that 7 o'clock hour, and CBS This Morning on the way in just a bit on this election eve.
Yeah, keep it here on WKYT.
Coming up, we're on the campaign trail with both candidates after FBI Director Comey recommends no charges against Hillary Clinton. Plus, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie talks with Charlie Rose about the Bridgegate trial. More real news coming up on CBS This Morning, next.
Coming up on CBS This Morning, the latest from the campaign trail as a new poll shows Hillary Clinton leading Donald Trump by 4 points on this eve of the election. Here at home, a tragedy in the Gorge and election eve in the U.S. That's what's making headlines this morning. Bill joins us now with a look at what's trending on the web.
It's going to be very, very busy next 48 hours or so for us at WKYT and WKYT.com. Many of you checking out our story now about 11-year-old Jack Rose. That's the little Boy Scout who was killed by a falling tree in the Red River Gorge. Jack, who is from Louisville, was camping with his scout troop at the popular Chimney Top Rock over the weekend. And as the presidential candidates crisscross the country today, authorities in New York, Virginia, and Texas are on high alert. The FBI is warning about a possible al-Qaeda terror attack on election eve. Stay with WKYT.com for the latest information as we gather it on that. The UK football team enjoyed first place in the SEC East, even if it was just for a few hours. The Cats lost on a late field goal to Georgia, as you know. There are 3 games left in the season. UK is still looking for that elusive 6th win to become bowl eligible. So we're keeping you updated on news, weather, and sports on WKYT.com.
The first female U.S. Attorney General has died. Janet Reno's goddaughter says the 78-year-old trailblazer passed away early today from complications of Parkinson's disease. Hannah Daniels take a look at her legacy.
Janet Reno was the first woman in U.S. history to become the government's top lawyer.
I, Janet Reno, do solemnly swear.
By the time she took office, a crisis was already building at a compound in Waco, Texas. The Branch Davidian religious sect led by David Koresh was in a standoff with the FBI. Reno ordered agents to storm the property, saying she believed children were being abused. About 80 people died in that raid. Reno took full responsibility.
I approved the plan and I'm responsible for it.
Reno also drew fire for her handling of the case of Elian Gonzalez. The 6-year-old refugee had been living with relatives in Miami when Reno ordered federal agents to storm the house. The child was sent back to Cuba to live with his father. The Cuban-American community was enraged. That case and the fallout from Waco haunted Reno for years. But she was also recognized for enforcing civil rights and her efforts to regulate violence on TV. Reno had been at the Justice Department for just 2 years when she noticed her hand shaking and was diagnosed with Parkinson's disease. Never married, she retired to her modest family home near the Everglades and declared herself a private citizen. Public life had brought dark times, but looking back, she described her career in politics as an activity of joy. Hannah Daniels, CBS News.
Reno was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 1995. She spent her final days at her Florida home surrounded by family and friends. In other news, an animal shelter in Leslie County is getting some help.
Volunteers are installing a new roof there. Sister Saving Shelters in Lexington raised more than $6,300 in 6 weeks for the Leslie County Animal Shelter. That money is going toward putting a roof over the shelter's dog kennels. Volunteers say they used to have to shovel snow from the kennels in the winter. They won't have to do that this year. Crews are hoping to have that roof finished up by this week. Going to have some cool air to be working in, as anybody who does outdoor work will start to notice. We're going to have some changes this week.
Oh yeah, it's here. Let's check in with meteorologist Mike Harris for a final look at your weather.
You know, that's the one thing I get when I go out in public right now is where is the cold air? And I'm like, why are you looking for it, man? It's 38 degrees right now in Frankfurt. I don't want the cold air right now. We can wait for it. Remember, December, January, February, those are our really cold months. So let's just enjoy this air while it lasts. 38 degrees there in Laurel County. Moorhead coming in roughly 50 degrees in Lexington at 47. So it's one of those mornings that starts off with, you'll need that light coat. Head in towards your afternoon. You're in the upper 60s to around 70 degrees. You can get rid of that coat and have that short sleeve shirt. Later on today, it was an awesome weekend, guys. We were talking about our weekend earlier. Great weekend, great day today. Election day tomorrow looks really good. It's after that things start to change big time. As we're looking for temperatures for highs in the upper 40s, lower 50s on Wednesday and on Saturday, and maybe even potentially our first fall freeze of the season later on this weekend.
La, 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 la.
Are you ready for this?
Not listening.
Not listening.
Nobody's more up to date than you to start your day. Thank you for being on WKYT.
Have a great day, everybody.